'cause I really love to.
Welcome back to another episode of the GC Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula. News might be a little bit late today, that's only because I was playing Pokemon Gold on 3DS. I'm sorry! We will start today with our very common talking point on this show, FORTNITE. Now, you can accuse FORTNITE of a lot of things, such as following in the footsteps of Battle Royale simulator PUBG, with its own Battle Royale mode, and it seems to be following in its footsteps now when it comes to player count as well. There was a massive thing about PUBG becoming one of the most played games, in fact the most concurrently played game of all time on Steam, and now FORTNITE is sort of climbing the ranks a little bit as well. This kind of game is getting immensely popular at the moment in a rather alarming rate, and FORTNITE has capitalized very much on this craze and has reached a peak concurrent of 525,000 people. Not as much as PUBG's 1.5 million, obviously, but it's still pretty damn good. They also have a number of daily users has peaked at 3.7 million individual users, which just shows you, one, how popular this game mode type is, and two, how popular FORTNITE is in general. It has become quite just an amazing little thing. This game is, of course, not getting anywhere near as much negative PR as Bluehole and PUBG at the moment, which may be contributing to its success, because a lot of people might see that whole situation and be like, I'd rather go with the ones who are being less dickish. This isn't helped, of course, by the PUBG moderators on the Steam discussion forums just quitting last week and deciding that they can't cope with the amount of people there, because apparently external moderators don't have all the mod tools that Valve's internal moderators do, which is a bit weird, but not really fun. So yeah, well done FORTNITE. I still haven't played it actually, because I can't be bothered to register an account with Epic or whatever it is that I need to register an account with. But yeah, get on that if that's something that might interest you, because a lot of people are doing it. Ninja Theory, the developers of HELLBLADE, say, how am I pronouncing the name of that game? I'll just go HELLBLADE. HELLBLADE. The developers of that game have done a very, very nice thing. Because today in the UK is Mental Health Awareness Day, the developers of HELLBLADE have decided they're going to donate all of the proceeds from HELLBLADE from today as we're talking, which is the 10th of October, just to the charity Rethink Mental Illness, which is amazing. While this game is a few weeks old now, it might not get a huge amount of money, it'll still get a fair amount, and this is a wonderful gesture from the company that's really well done at getting some good PR. That's amazing. That's so much better than Shadow Awarded with the whole Orc Slayer DLC fiasco. You've got it completely right. That's an amazing thing to do, and we really do need to make mental health just more aware, make people more aware of it, because it is a huge issue, and this might go some way towards helping. So well done, Ninja Theory, you've done good. Speaking of studios that have done good, a studio that hasn't yet made a game, well, at least not any game that I've heard of, have raised $1 million in investment. The studio in question is Third Eye Studio, and the investment that they have made will go towards some VR tools and a debut IP called Downward Spiral. Now, I don't actually know what that is, it's not something I've personally heard of, but sounds interesting enough. Downward Spiral. Like my life! Among the investors is the former vice president of EA, who is called Carl Magnus Trodson. It's a Finnish name that I don't know how to pronounce. In a statement, he said it took him less than 30 minutes to decide whether or not to invest in the company, saying that they are an awesome team with great skills and the right attitude. Combined with a solid plan on how to make a games development platform, this was a very simple decision. Well, you might want to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt, pinch of salt, grain of sand, whatever, because it was a former member of EA staff. This just is, wow, it's quite interesting to see. And the business side of games isn't something we normally touch on, but I thought this was like such a big investment in such a short amount of time that it was definitely worth talking about. So keep an eye on Third Eye Studios. Not your third eye though. That's not something that should be got out in public. And finally, Star Wars Battlefront 2 version 2. There's been quite a lot of controversy about its loot box system because of course it has a loot box system. Now a lot of people just say loot boxes as a cosmetic, like it's not affecting gameplay, it's all fine even though it's pseudo gambling kind of thing. However, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has taken the loot box formula to its logical conclusion of being gambling pay to win. The stuff you can get out of loot boxes, while some of it is cosmetic, like emotes for various hero characters, a lot of the things you can get out are boosts and various abilities for your characters within the game. Now, while this stuff doesn't cost money in the beta, which I will get onto in just a minute, it will cost money, well, it can be bought for real money in the full release of the game, which is a little bit shite. A standard crate costs 1,000 of their credits, and a sort of more deluxe crate called the Trooper Crate costs 1,100 of their fun bucks. This translates to between 7 and 8 games, roughly, because you get about 150 credits per game of just grinding before you can afford one crate or just one little microtransaction payment. This might not sound like a lot, 7 or 8 games, but bear in mind that the 7 to 8 games go on for about 15 to 20 minutes each, which means that's a very significant time investment just to get one loot crate. Now, I'm not a fan of loot boxes at the best of times, you might have found that out, but this is particularly egregious. I mean, it takes the piss. It makes Shadow of War's loot crates look a bit tame in comparison, actually, so I'm not a fan, and it's kind of put me off buying the full release. The beta, however, I will talk about that a little bit more because while I've not played it yet, I will still have a chance to, because it was supposed to end yesterday, and it has now been extended till Wednesday the 12th. The article that I read was wrong. It's Thursday the 12th or Wednesday the 11th, whatever. It's been extended until then. So if you didn't have a chance to play it yet, you've got just a day or two left to give it a try and see what you think. I will, however, say, personally, in my own opinion, I would warn myself off buying the game until release, because then you can find out how the mechanics in terms of loot boxes work and how much of a pay-to-win game it is before you purchase, especially considering that while the game has a single player, which is a very positive thing, the multiplayer may be a pay-to-win shit show. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the GC Informer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like, subscribe, or a share, whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description, along with a link to our Discord, where you can have a lovely bit of public chat with all of us. As for me, I can be found on Twitter at SnowyDuffield, and I can be found on Twitch at twitch.tv/metalnerddude. Stay tuned to GameCast for more gaming-related things, including Let's Plays, reviews, podcasts, and more news, and a lovely show I do called Release Radar, where I go through some indie releases of the week that you might have missed. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time for some more news.